According to the World Happiness Report, Finland is the happiest country in the world. Also for immigrants, by the way. What was actually measured in the report and what were the things that made Finland #1? In this video I will tell you just that. What up fantastics, my name is Aleksi and I make authentic, fun and useful videos about Finland. So if you are interested in Finland, do me a favor and hit that subscribe and the bell button too, so you don't miss any awesome Finnish stuff on this channel. So World Happiness Report ranked 156 countries for happiness levels and 117 countries for immigrant happiness levels. And Finland actually ranked #1 in both of these, which is pretty awesome, isn't it? And when I saw this report, I was like, okay, what was the reasons? What were actually measured in this report? Because, you know, all the medias and stuff that always make articles about this, they just publish you the results and want to show you all the good stuff, but what was actually behind this one? Well, let's go check it out. So I decided to take a look on the report, and I noticed that there was actually two things that the whole thing based on. First of all, the results were based on the Gallup World Poll, which is an organization that conducts these kind of surveys and interviews and polls on these kind of topics. And basically what people were asked is that they had to rate their happiness level from 10 to 0. 0 being the shittiest life, 10 being the best life. So this is how they made out the general thing. And then they also took these 6 key variables: income, healthy life expectancy, social support, freedom, trust, and generosity to explain the results got from this country ladder question. First of all, the income variable was handled through GDP, purchasing power parity. And this basically means that if you want to compare how much like an item would cost somewhere else. I'm not gonna go into too much into detail in this one, but if you just want to know, they use the purchasing power parity to measure the income levels, the income happiness variable. As for the life happiness, basically they just collected like a time series of healthy life expectancy at birth from World Health Organization. And I'm not gonna go into too much into that, because that's just basically like numbers and statistics. The next variables are more important because this was actually done again through a survey, and there were some interesting questions asked here. Let's check them out. Okay, social support, how was that figured out? And there was only one question, yes or no question, and that question was, if you were in trouble, do you have relatives or friends you can count on to help you whenever you need them or not? And that's everything. Like when I was thinking about, okay, social support, maybe they are checking like social security and this kind of stuff, but no, this was the only thing. If you have any other friends, people you can count on if you have tough times, this was the social support. Then freedom of life. And again, the only question that was asked was, are you satisfied or dissatisfied with your freedom to choose what you do with your life? Again, yes or no. I think Finland does quite good on that. For example, you can study pretty much freely, the education is free, you can gain skills pretty easily on any topic or any field you want. Obviously you can start working on those fields. So I think Finland is doing that quite well. The only thing that are restricting people are themselves and the beliefs, like let's say, or for example, let's say people's parents, like people's like, hey, you should be a doctor or you should be like a lawyer, and it's pretty easy, you're pretty free to do whatever you want in Finland, that's for sure. But this next one was pretty weird, generosity. And the question that was asked in this one is, have you donated money to a charity in the past month on GDP per capita? And like, wow, like when I think about this kind of stuff, the thing that comes to my mind are these voluntary workers in the streets here in Finland who work for, like, let's say, UNICEF or Red Cross, and they try to get random donations from people in the street. I don't really know, like, do Finns really donate that much? I don't know if there's any other Finns in there watching this video. I would love to hear some thoughts, but I don't know, it's not like a big thing. And then there was a question about trust, which is related to corruption. And there was 2 questions in this one. Is corruption widespread throughout the government or not? And is corruption widespread within businesses or not? Yes or no again. And I think Finland is really good at this one, because you can trust the system in Finland. Like every time if you go do some business and stuff, everything will be just like you expect it to be. Maybe some stuff might be taken care of it slowly and stuff, but no one's trying to cheat or fuck you up. And that's really good. And these questions were also carried out through the Gallup World Poll thingy. By the way, have you checked my 10 awesome facts video about Finland? If you haven't, go do it after this video. So first of all, they had this general question from 10 to 0, from 0 to 10. what's your happiness level, and then using these 6 key variables they explained
this. And here are some of the screenshots from the results. And as you can see, Finland was the top level country. And it seems that this was the first time that Finland has won this one. And also in the report it was mentioned that the differences, the margins between the top countries are really small. So basically the results among the top countries are interchangeable. I think Denmark was last year the winner, and now it's, I don't know which ranking it's now, but it doesn't really change that much. Like if Finland is like number 2 again, it doesn't mean that Finland has become a shittier country, it's just that the results are really small. Oh yes, and they did the same stuff for immigrants. And this was actually interesting because it was the first time they took also immigrants into account in this report. They just considered the foreign residents on those countries and made the results. And the kind of the general thing in the report was that the immigrants' happiness levels are close to the ones of the native people in that country. But this is the thing, like if you talk about happiness, how can you quantify happiness? And always when you make these kind of results, you have to take this the right type of attitude and don't take everything for granted. For example, they didn't really measure stuff like, let's say, inequality or unemployment. They actually have a statement on this in the report. But the reason was that they don't have enough data from all the countries. So maybe in the future we can also see how those factors are recorded in this type of report. And Finland is a really great country. I can definitely say that as a Finn, but you know, Finland has of course its own share of problems. Like let's say unemployment is definitely one problem. Like even Finns are struggling to find a job. So you know, and if let's say like a immigrant foreigner comes to Finland, like adjusting to this country where people are kind of reserved and shy, it's tough to make friends, this kind of stuff. Also, before you start to sign up those immigrant forms, remember that there's also a flip side to each coin. There was a really good quote at the end of the report in chapter 2, let me quote it to you. On reflection, when they see the nature of the social connections and the quality of the communities, governments and workplaces that underlie these happier lives, they see that the right answer is not to move to the happier communities, but instead to learn and apply the lessons and inspirations that underlie their happiness. Happiness is not something inherently in short supply, like gold, inciting rushes to find and much conflict over ownership. My gold cannot be your gold, but happiness, unlike gold, can be created for all and can be shared without being scarce for those who give. It even grows as it's shared. So this is a really nice summarization of the report, or of the results that we just talked about here. So instead of like trying to force yourself into this happy community, I think it's much more important to understand like why we Finns and other Nordic countries and other countries in the top rankings of this report, why they are happy. That's more important. So what do you think about these results in this report and in this video? If you have, I would love to hear some comments and thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can join our Fantastic squad and get more fantastic videos in the future as well. See you in the next video. So moro.